Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6.
Well, the Parkway fire in Post Falls has now burned 80 acres. As of right now, around 70 homes are under evacuation levels from last night. Those are still in place. One of the biggest concerns firefighters have about this fire was the potential for the wind and the thunderstorms to follow. Thanks for joining us here tonight. I'm Jordan Smith. Our Bronte Sorotsky shares how the weather conditions are affecting this fire.
Firefighters tell me they're thankful that on Friday they were able to avoid any rough weather that could have made fighting this fire even worse. And they're hoping for that same weather today.
This is a full suppression strategy. The goal is to get it out fast and quickly.
The Parkway fire is burning in a heavily forested area with a steep terrain. Firefighters worry that the potential for wind and lightning on Saturday evening could change things.
However, we do have some concerns about weather today, and we're going to be monitoring that regularly. There are the chance of thunderstorms, which we love the idea of rain, but we hate the idea of wind and lightning at this point.
As firefighters are working to keep you and your home safe, they're asking that you give them a helping hand too.
Let the firefighters, whether they're local or state resources, do their work.
That means giving firefighters and other first responders room.
We encourage citizens to stay away from the incident. Please give our folks the space they need to do their job.
Another way to help is to turn on your sprinklers or garden hose if you can.
I would say if you have sprinklers in your homes in the area of danger, I would wet it down as much as possible.
The cause of this fire is still under investigation. And one of the biggest keys to success that firefighters say has helped them with this fire is these aircrafts, which is why they're asking you not to fly any drones while they're fighting this fire. Reporting in Post Falls, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
And that brings us to our weather forecast, where we are tracking some lightning around parts of the inland northwest. Thankfully, no lightning around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene so far today, but just to the north, things have gotten very active very quickly as we've gone through the afternoon in the North Idaho Panhandle and now pushing into Pend Oreille County. Over the last hour, 70 lightning strikes around this portion of the inland northwest. In the previous hour, there was over 100. All these potentially could be new wildfires, so we really have got to be wildfire aware this evening and tomorrow in Pend Oreille County, Boundary County, and northern Bonner County as these storms continue to push through. Now, these are bringing some heavy rain. We just are seeing some rain ramp up in the Sandpoint area. Ione getting some rain here as well, along with Medellin and Medellin Falls. We're seeing some heavy rain just to the north of Priest River. Looks like this is the heaviest stuff is going to miss you and instead work into the Four Corners area. Some dragged out rain, however, should come here in a few minutes, pushing into Priest River and then into the Newport area. But likely you're going to hear some thunder and see that heavy rain up to the mountains into the north of you. Some big storms as well, moving out of the Camas Prairie into the Kamiah and Pierce area. Looks like for now we will stay dry on the Palouse, but I don't think it's going to be too long before that changes. Potential for more thunderstorms later tonight around 9 o'clock in the same areas that got stormy today, and perhaps a little bit further south into northern Kootenai and northern Spokane counties. And then we will continue to see off and on wet weather as we head through the night. I'll have your forecast for Sunday coming up in just a few minutes.
We're looking forward to it, Matt. Thanks for that. And take a look at this. The Monroe Street Bridge was shut down temporarily this afternoon. The Spokane Fire Department rescued a man who was stuck midway on the south side of the bridge. The technical rescue team used ropes to help him. Spokane Fire says that man is expected to be okay, but only had some minor injuries. In Spokane, while crews were battling the Sunset Fire in the West Hills on Thursday, 4 additional fires were intentionally started nearby. We learned that these fires sparked up hours after a series of messages were discovered by police promising to burn Spokane down. Those writings were found under a viaduct near downtown Spokane Thursday morning. All of them dated August 3rd. Hours after they were discovered, those flames began appearing in the West Hills neighborhood, forcing an urgent response from fire crews to prevent those flames from reaching homes and businesses nearby. Spokane police and fire say that they are sifting through security camera footage and investigating these messages, calling it a very important part of the investigation.
It was dated 8/3, and those were written in the morning, and then obviously the fires later were certainly suspicious and caused some concern from a number of people across the community. We haven't found a direct connection between those messages that were downtown to these fires, but that's certainly an important part of this investigation.
Those fires have since been put out. Crews did an excellent job officially leaving the site earlier Friday evening around 7 o'clock. Some schools across the country begin welcoming students back to school, but the problem is there may not be enough teachers to greet them. The American Federation of Teachers estimates that 10% of the U.S. teaching force, roughly 300,000 people, have left their role for 2 years in a row. At least 40 states and U.S. territories, including the District of Columbia, have reported ongoing teacher shortages, with many vacancies in highly specialized STEM subjects. Among the top reasons for those departures, pandemic burnout, school safety, and low pay, according to the labor union.
Fewer and fewer people going into the teaching profession, which is making the teaching shortage much, much worse.
And one of the risks can include more exposure to misinformation for students. So experts say it's very important for teachers to still remain vigilant, keeping an eye on their students. And President Joe Biden has called for teacher pay raises. And despite bipartisan support for educators, no federal bills have progressed through the House or the Senate. Congresswoman Cathy McMorris Rodgers made a stop at 4 News Now earlier this week. The Eastern Washington U.S. representative was in Spokane participating in a roundtable discussion on school safety. The Congresswoman says a priority for her is data protection for our kids, specifically when it comes to social media.
One did bring up that TikTok, for example, had a bring your gun to school challenge on TikTok. And so, yes, the social media aspect is very real and is influencing our kids.
4 News Now dedicated special reports to the potential dangers of social media. You can find our full coverage on the social media effect in reports by anchors Derek Dice and Aaron Luna, right along with ABC News on KXLY.com. Still to come here on 4 News Now, big changes to the future of the Pac-12 conference. We hear from the University of Washington for the first time since their decision to leave the conference and the major impacts that could have on Washington State University. Plus, a new art exhibit open in Spokane, why it's meant to be seen with your phone.
And we are not just talking about lightning and the potential for fires. We're talking about wildfire smoke. And in a weird juxtaposition, we're talking about flooding as well this weekend. We'll cover it all coming up in your full forecast.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
4 News Now is brought to you by SDCU, here for good.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive contains ALA to relieve nerve aches and B-complex vitamins to fortify healthy nerves. Try Nervive and try Nervive Pain Relieving Roll-On.
Feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't at its best. Metamucil gummies make it easy to get the fiber you need, promoting your digestive health for a better you. Metamucil gummies, the easy way to get your daily fiber.
Calling all meat lovers. A bowl of this chili is silly good.
Delicious. Here you go, baby.
Then, the Burnett Dolly partner cooks up a meal that sings. Mixed Rachel.
Watch Rachel Monday at 3 and 4 News Now at 5.
Want to drive?
Really?
Most of us agree our roads are safer when we put away our phones. But we still have some people to reach. So spread the message. And set the example. Because that's how we make the road a safer place for you and your loved ones. Together, we get there.
What if my type 2 diabetes takes over?
What if all I do isn't enough? Or what if I can do diabetes differently?
Now you can with Once Weekly Mounjaro. Mounjaro helps your body regulate blood sugar. And Mounjaro can help decrease how much food you eat. 3 out of 4 people reached an A1C of less than 7%. Plus, people taking Mounjaro lost up to 25 pounds. Mounjaro is not for people with type 1 diabetes or children. Don't take Mounjaro if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Mounjaro and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, vision changes, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Taking Mounjaro with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Tell your doctor if you're nursing, pregnant, or plan to be. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can cause dehydration and may worsen kidney problems.
I can do diabetes differently with Mounjaro.
Ask your doctor about once weekly Mounjaro.
4 News Now is brought to you by Perfection Tire.
Welcome back. Ready or not, fall respiratory virus season is approaching. And while pharmacies set up flu and RSV vaccine appointments, health experts once again are warning about the potential threat of COVID.
All regions of the country are showing increases in hospitalizations.
Medical experts say one reason for the rise is that many people are staying indoors to avoid the scorching summer heat. Pharmacies like CVS, Rite Aid, and Walgreens say they'll have the new COVID-19 vaccines once they're authorized by the FDA and recommended by the CDC.
There's going to be a massive push across the United States to get your flu shot and to get your COVID vaccine updated, and then for the over 60, get that new RSV vaccine.
The CDC has also just signed off on a new vaccine to prevent RSV in children under 8 months old. Pfizer officials say they expect to have a COVID shot ready for the public sometime next month. For the first time ever, those struggling with severe postpartum depression may find relief from a new pill. Trials for the drug zuranolone showed women with the illness had significant improvement in depressive symptoms when taking the pill for 2 weeks compared to those who were given a placebo. The study says that those improvements were still reported over a month later.
Once you take the medication, a person recovers from depression, and then their risk of relapse diminishes significantly. A long course of treatment, a long course of symptom relief from a short course of treatment. Which is very new and a novel thing in our field.
Postpartum depression can happen anytime within the first year after childbirth. The only approved drug specifically for postpartum depression is an IV treatment, given the green light in 2019. The FDA is expected to decide on this new pill by sometime today. And if you or someone you know is struggling with depression, help is available. You can reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline by dialing 988.
And we will move now from important mental health information to something else that's fairly important this weekend, and that is your forecast. Well, our humidity is much, much better this weekend, and it's going to stay that way. Everybody is above 20%. That was been super, super rare about this time of the day. We got a lot of moisture in our atmosphere, and so we're going to see wet thunderstorms and perhaps in some cases maybe too much rain at once. Not only are we talking about fire risk from lightning, but we're talking about the potential for flash flooding. We got a flood watch up for Shoshone County, our 2 northern counties in the Idaho Panhandle, and then across northern Washington all the way to the Cascades. This will be starting tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow morning rather, and then go through Monday as well, because yeah, we got 2 more days where we're expected to see quite a bit of thunderstorm activity around the inland northwest. As for tonight, it's been very quiet around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene metro, but I'm going to keep a slight chance for thunderstorms through the night and into the morning. Temperatures will only drop down into the low and middle 60s. Here's our simulation for tomorrow. This is about noon, and you can kind of see it is just going to be very random. We've had low pressure sitting right over us, and so everything's going to be kind of spinning around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, and we will see some occasional spots and dots of rain and brief thunder showers moving through the region. So hopefully we get more rain out of it than we see that lightning, which we definitely do not want, as we have seen quite a bit of lightning in our northern counties so far today. Monday is a similar situation. You can kind of see that little spin there right before we stopped here early on Monday morning. So things are going to show up. It's going to be a little random. Winds eventually shift to out of the west and begin to blow all this moisture out towards Montana. and that will provide some more predictability to our storms as we head into Monday afternoon. The point is, keep an eye on the radar for the next 2 days because things could change very quickly in your neighborhood. Speaking of changing quickly, let's talk about air quality really quickly. You can see into the orange in Omak and Winthrop. We're hanging on to the yellow, but just barely around some parts of Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. Smoke settling down into the valley tonight. Winds out of the east blowing in smoke from Montana and that fire up north of Hayden Lake. And, well, I could certainly see some big air quality degrading for Sunday morning with some improvements by the time we get to Sunday night. Temperatures in the 60s and 50s for tonight, 80s and 70s, a high of only 76 in Coeur d'Alene. It's nice to have those cool temperatures coming along with all the rest of this complicated weather pattern. We will keep rain chances high through Monday, dropping down Tuesday and Wednesday. Sunshine and cool temperatures to round out the week.
Nice to finally cool off, Matt. Thanks for that. And it's time now to go for a ride on the Air 4 drone in this week's Air 4 adventure. We're giving you a bird's eye view of one of the most popular golf courses in Spokane. Let's go for a ride on the Air 4 drone over the Wandermere Golf Course.
We're here at Wandermere Golf Course, here in the north end of Spokane. Beautiful day out here. I know we have a little smoke coverage, which has been kind of the normal out here this golf season, but still, course is in great shape. Kind of used to be almost a little hidden jewel out here, and with how much everything's developed up north, we're definitely getting a little busier. I think golf during COVID, it's one of the few things we could still get outdoors and enjoy, so it seems like golf everywhere is kind of up right now, and we've definitely seen that as well. We are a family-run business. We started in 1929. Been here ever since, stayed in the family. I'll be the 5th generation to go through here. Been through some changes. We used to have ski jumps and swimming and all sorts of horseback riding, more like picnic, fun park place, and then converted to golf course and been that way since. First 9 is pretty open. You can definitely get away with spraying it off the tee a little bit out here, but around the greens, they are kind of smaller greens and some tricky slopes to them, so it definitely comes down to the short game out here. Back 9 definitely have some tricky holes, finishing 16, 17, 18. The river kind of comes into play there. As far as walking wise, it is a pretty walkable course, not too hilly, about 6,000 yards from the back tee box. Here in Spokane, we don't realize, I think, how spoiled we are when it comes to golf. Not only the prices, but the options as well. Within a 20-minute drive, you have about 10 to 12 courses to choose from and all reasonable price. So we definitely are a nice golfing town to be at.
Looks like a lot of fun. Alex and I are definitely going to grab the clubs and check it out. Meantime, a new exhibit is now open at the Chase Gallery in Spokane City Hall. It features artwork from Jessica Earle, a professor at Eastern, that explores the concept of escapism as a positive force within our everyday lives. Now, what makes this exhibit different is it's meant to be seen by using your phone.
It is an augmented reality experience that people will come in, they'll scan a QR code and be able to view the artwork through their devices and kind of go off into a different world.
The gallery is open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. Well, still ahead here, the Pac-12 is facing its last stand as most of the institution members have announced that they are departing after this year. Coming up in sports, Alex Crescenti has more on where this leaves Washington State University after they didn't receive an invite to the big party.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Start your day with Good Morning Northwest and
Good Morning America. Night Ranger, live in concert, playing all their hits, plus deep cuts from their catalog. Night Ranger, live. August 24th, 7 p.m., Coeur d'Alene Casino. On sale now at the box office, cdacasino.com, or through the CDA Casino app. Night Ranger, live. Must be 18 or older to attend concerts and comedian events.
My late father-in-law lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had AMD. I didn't know it then, but it can progress to GA, an advanced form of the disease. His struggle with vision loss from AMD made me want to help you see warning signs of GA, like straight lines, that seem wavy. Blurry or missing visual spots that make it hard to see faces, like this one. Or trouble with low light. That makes driving at night a real challenge. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. GA is irreversible. It's important to catch it early. Talk to your eye doctor about GA and learn more at GAWon'tWait.
Four News Now is brought to you by Horizon Credit Union, proud sponsor of the Extreme Team.
Hey, Dad, we're going to enter the Montgomery Soapbox Derby together. Just going to need a power saw, some lumber, and a box of matches.
Nice try. Like I'm letting a bunch of 13-year-old boys play with matches. Power saw's in the shed.
That was amazing.
My dad said we're going to make it even faster. How's your car coming along?
The best way to help you with your car is by not helping you with your car. You'll understand one day. You're welcome.
I'm your vehicle, baby. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. I'm your vehicle.
My advice to all the fathers out there, they grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
The Pac-12's questionable future is much bigger than sports. With no media deal set for the 2024-25 season, schools will likely see a loss in revenue. And this news affects fans, employees, athletes, and the remaining Pac-12 schools. 4 teams remain in the Pac-12. One former Washington State Hall of Famer tells us without a national presence, cutbacks are likely.
Talking cutbacks in the athletic department, talking cutbacks at the school. Maybe they're changing some of the opportunities for degrees that you can get. It's across the board, and it's going to be very, very painful for a school like Oregon State and Washington State and whoever is left if there's no settlement on moving forward.
And the WSU Athletics Department already reported financial issues in June. It's likely those will just worsen over time. Fans will miss the rivalry between the Cougars and the Huskies, and women's sports will also be affected by the loss of competition.
Yeah, there's just no good news for the future of Washington State University. There's just no way to spin this. Even Oregon State is going to be feeling those effects. Those two schools stand to lose the most in all of this, and we're talking in the tens of millions of dollars when it's all said and done. And that's likely going to be ending in the loss of numerous jobs, but who just can tell at this point. But the machine just doesn't stop, and we both know that Oregon and Washington are going to be joining their close friends UCLA and USC in the Big Ten starting next year. Now, because of the bleak outlook with the Pac-12 media rights deal, it was hard to turn down the reported $50 million a year package for those schools from the Big Ten. Still, a lot of questions as to how this is all going to play out in the long run. The future of the Apple Cup is in doubt, and a lot of the smaller sports are going to have to deal with the grind of traveling to and from the East Coast on a regular basis.
I'll be the first to say that this is not perfect. You know, there will be challenges. This does require a lot of change and adaptability. But what I do know is that we have a very active student leadership group that has an incredible partnership with our senior leadership team. And we're going to be working side by side to develop the best plan, and that we will have the resources to support our student athletes as we move into this transition.
Now, in Pullman, you wouldn't really guess anything's out of the ordinary as the football team continues to prepare for their season. And for head coach Jake Dicker, he's done a good job keeping his guys focused on the task at hand. And that's the 2022 season, nothing else. Still, it's just hard to avoid being asked about the ever-changing landscape in the conference.
Because it's the only thing that we can control. You know, I don't control anything else that happens outside. I think we got great leadership and President Schultz and obviously Pat, and excited to let those guys lead us into the future of a very strong Washington State.
I try to focus on what we are here now, be where my feet are. There's a lot of decision making that goes into that. That's out of my control. But all I know is that they're still in our league this year, and once we get to those weeks, I'll be ready to go.
Now, across the border in Idaho, the Vandals don't have to deal with things like conference realignment because they were one of the original victims of this expansion, with the WAC just basically disbanding, and Idaho had to go independent. We all know how that turned out. Well, they started training camp on Monday morning as they're going to be looking to get back to the FCS playoffs for the second year in a row. On offense, they're going to have a few high-powered weapons, including receivers Hayden Hatton and Jermaine Jackson, but it's going to take the whole team to get back to Frisco for the championship game.
I want to see focus. I want to see us improving, just being in the right place, making sure we know what our assignment is and executing that at a high level. And then hopefully now as we pick up the speed of the game, as we get pads on, now you want to see that carry over, that assignment soundness when you get full pads on. But we're also keeping a close eye. We did a lot of stuff. We were split group today with older guys and younger guys. We're looking to do a great job evaluating our new guys and see who can help us.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by River Ridge and Peters Hardware.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Fred Meyer, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes as fresh as it gets. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
Is it your day to water? Know if you are odd or even and be water wise this summer.
We're here today to set the record straight about Dupuytren's contracture. Surgery is not your only treatment option. People may think their contracture has to be severe to be treated, but it doesn't. Visit findahandspecialist.com today to get started.
The new double pepperoni Crazy Crust pizza is so nice, we pepperonied it twice. With classic and old world pepperoni, sprinkled with toasted cheeses and garlic parm crust you've got to see in slow-mo. Available for $8.99 only at Little Caesars.
Pizza. At Findlay Downtown Toyota, we have some of the best inventory we've had in years. Our lots are packed full of every make and model. And all vehicles come with a 3-month, 3,000-mile warranty, making it a great time to visit Findlay.
Sleepovers just aren't what they used to be. A house full of screens, basically no hiccups. You guys have no idea how good you've got it.
Get internet on the Xfinity 10G network for $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract.
Back in my day, it was scary stories and flashlights. We don't get scared. Oh, really? Mom can see your search history. That's what I thought.
The next generation 10G network, only from Xfinity.
1 in 9 Americans struggle with hunger, yet 40% of the food in America is wasted. The Kroger Company Zero Hunger, Zero Waste Foundation is working to help end hunger and food waste in neighborhoods across America. Together, we can help end hunger. Learn more at zerohungerzerowastefoundation.org.
My advice to all the fathers out there, they grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
At Fred Meyer, everyone wins when it comes to savings because you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards on pickup or delivery as you do in store. So no matter how you shop, everyone saves big. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
All right. Final update for your radar this evening. It's about to rain pretty hard in Newport. We got some cool air coming out from behind these thunderstorms. That's moving towards Deer Park, Colville, Chewelah, Springdale, Loon Lake. We may see new thunderstorms develop over those areas over the next hour. So those are spots where you should keep an eye on the skies through 8 o'clock.
Some good information there. And Alex, if you want to save the Pac-12, just win the Mega Millions. There you go.
It's as simple as that.
You can be the hero.
Download the 4 News Now app today. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.